What's going on, guys? Chris Bumstead here. This is episode number 2 for my little tips and tricks series. Today I'm going to be giving you guys 3 exercises along with a little advice on building bigger triceps. Alright, so first exercise we're going to start here in the cables. I always like warming up my triceps in the cables just to kind of get your elbows a little warm. And this one's really good for like a tricep activation because what we're going to be doing is starting with the cable at the top here, and you're going to be finishing the movement behind you back here, and that really tight contraction here at the back is a really good activation beginner for your tricep. Because if you think about the deepest part of a stretch in your bicep is back here, that's going to mean the tightest contraction is also back here for your tricep because they're antagonist muscles. So during this exercise, you're going to want to start, grab the cable machine and take a few steps back. Personally, I like to do it with no attachment on here. If you want, you can use one end of a rope or a handle, whatever is easiest for you to hold on to. You're going to want to start, bring your elbow down by your side. You want to lock in your traps, lower your shoulders so nothing up here is moving up or down at all. It's all stable right here. And you're just going to drive the weight down and really focus on a tight squeeze at the back and control the weight back up. A great finisher for this exercise too is to take a few steps forward once you go to failure at the back, and then once you're underneath, the strength curve will change and it gets a little bit easier right here. As you're driving straight down, it's a bit less of a contraction, but you have more power. So you can finish out a few more reps. For this exercise, because it's normally the first one I do in a workout, I'll normally do 2 or 3 warm-ups just to kind of get everything going, blood flowing into the elbow, and just make sure you're nice and warm. And then from there, I'll move on to about 3 working sets, and on the last set, I'll perform that little drops that you saw, where I step forward and I finish out there. For rep range, you're going to want to aim a little bit on the higher end because, like I said, you're focusing on such a tight contraction. You're not going to be super strong down there, so you want to keep the weight low and really focus on squeezing at the bottom. So aim for around 12 to 15 reps. So moving on to exercise numero dos. This is going to be the compound movement, and I like to put this for triceps kind of in the middle of the workout. That's why we're doing it second. For this, we're going to be performing a skull crusher with a barbell or an easy bar. I personally like to use an easy bar because that little angle in the bar helps me get in a better position. In this exercise, there's 2 kind of variations you can do it, and you'll see people are either normally lowering the weight behind their head or kind of right to their forehead, like crushing their skull, as the name's called. And the more your elbows are forward and you're lowering it kind of down to your face, that's going to hit the lateral head of your tricep more, and then the more you kind of bring it behind your head with that deep stretch, that's going to be hitting the long head here on your tricep. Personally, I'm trying to grow my arms to be like, just have that hang, especially when I hit a front double bicep. So I want, when I hold my arm out here, I want this like drop, so I'm focusing more on the long head, so I'll be focusing on bringing it back further and getting a bit of a deeper stretch. I like to perform this exercise on an incline bench because, again, about that stretch, it helps you kind of get it back a little bit farther, and to be completely honest, it's easier to lie back to an incline than a full flat bench. Start with the bar directly above your head so your elbows are perpendicular with the floor, and you want to control the weight, lower it slowly, get that deep stretch behind your head, and then drive up. For this exercise, because like I said, this is a compound movement of the exercise, this is an exercise where you can definitely add a little bit more weight. If you want to go heavy, kind of bump up as much as you can go. If you want to aim for 6 to 8 rep range, that's kind of like, that's really making a compound heavy movement. I like to do anywhere between 6 and 10 reps, depending on like the goal of that workout or how I'm feeling. My elbows are good, if I'm feeling strong, whatever. I just aim between that 6 to 10 rep range. And again, because we're going a little heavier, it's good to do like a 1 or 2 warm-ups just to make sure you're feeling the weight, you're feeling comfortable, everything's moving as it should be, and perform 3 working sets. So for the third and final exercise, we're going to move back to the cables because this is just really my favorite place to be when I'm training arms. And the goal in a lot of my workouts is to hit every muscle from every angle you can. Because we began the workout with a really tight contraction at the back behind you, and in the middle we had the opposite, which was a tight stretch at the top here. We're going to do a little bit in the middle of that range of motion here, and we're going to perform a little bit of variation to the regular tricep pushdown. So you're going to want to grab the bar, be about 2 feet from the cable machine, pull it down, and you're going to start with your elbows pointing straight down at the floor. First rep, you just drive straight down, and then when you bring it up the next time, you're going to come slowly here and raise your hands up a little bit, and you're letting your elbows fall forward. This range of motion right here is focusing a lot on the long head of your tricep, like I said, the meaty part of it right here, and the final part of the movement where you're pressing down is going to be more of the lateral head. So you raise it up slowly, up, down. And you want to try and control this as much as you can to not use any motion to push the weight down. A great finisher for this exercise too is just to do that beginning part of the movement right when you're done. When you can't do any more reps pushing down, just do that last part, pulling with the long head of your tricep, and you'll get a serious burn. On this one too, because it's your last exercise, you can kind of cheat it out a little bit and just try and completely deplete the muscle. So say you fail on this rep here, you'll bring it up, and then you just focus on this right here, this moment. Trust me, finishing off your tricep exercise like this will get you a crazy pump. So because it's a cable movement and there's not a whole lot of stress going on the joint, if you feel super warm, you're sweaty, you got a pump, you really don't need to warm up on this. And I'll typically perform 3 to 4 working sets, depending how I feel at the end of my workout. If I feel like I have one more in me, I'll add one. And on that last set, maybe even 2 of them, that's when I'll add that little finisher like I told you. You just really want to bang those out and completely go till failure, until your arms are just swollen, pumped up like crazy, and you're just done the workout. All right, so those are my 3 current favorite exercises for training tricep. Gets every kind of range of motion. You got a stretch, a contraction, a little bit of mid-range motion, and a burnout at the end.